I want answers. The message you've been sending us all week. All TXTAG customers, all fed up with customer service.
The hoops you have to jump through to get someone to work with you.
Complaints resurface with the state's tollway billing system after the Texas Department of Transportation first promised to fix it 2 years ago.
But if you're going to build a toll road, it better work the way people expect it to.
From 2015 to today, many of you tell us the payment process is actually a lot worse and has you facing major fees.
Yes, nearly 30% of all TXTAG accounts have had a bill sent to collections this year alone.
And now KXAN investigator Brittany Glass has discovered new vendors and an aggressive collections agency, part of this web of frustration for millions of TXTAG customers tonight.
That's exactly right, Robert. Shannon, just look at this. TxDOT, TXTAG, ChaseSource, former contractor Xerox, Conduent, a Houston law firm, all just this year. No wonder so many of you have reached out to us because you can't get a straight answer about your accounts, like having bills sent to the wrong address and facing fees for not paying, or getting charged for a vehicle you don't even own. Or like this next woman says, being sent to collections while waiting for customer service to help.
For years, Mila Louvier says she enjoyed the convenience of the TXTAG system. She could drive through tolls with no hassle. And TXTAG simply drew money automatically from her bank. Then this spring, she started noticing some unexpected charges. So she reached out to TXTAG customer service.
Calls to them haven't been helpful.
Louvier says she phoned repeatedly, waiting more than a month just to get a call back from someone who could resolve her problem.
Those calls just didn't come until it was way too late, until they had sent 95% of our account to collections.
In just a short 2-month span, her initial $400 bill had shot up by more than $5,700 in administration fees. And soon, a collections company was demanding she pay up.
I do feel like this is a goal of their customer service, to send people into collections and get as much money off of these fees as they can.
Thank you for calling TXTAG customer service.
Louvier is not alone. This year, more than 2.2 million TXTAG accounts have been sent to collections, racking up nearly $1 billion in fees for drivers. Linda Sexton heads up toll operations at TxDOT and says those fees can add up fast.
Isn't it a problem if nearly 30% of all TXTAG accounts are in collections?
Well, it's not necessarily indicative of a problem. It's very clearly drawn out how a transaction escalates through the process and the applicable fees that will be applied if those notices go unanswered.
It's heartbreaking to listen to those kind of calls every day. And it's all day long.
This former TXTAG customer service representative asked us to conceal her identity if she agreed to share what happened when she took her concerns about calls to management.
They do not care if you have a problem with it. That's your job. You do what they say or you can leave. They don't care.
And so you left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather leave than work for a company like that. I'm not going to work for them.
And when she left, she took her employee manual. It says workers must keep their call times to just 5.5 minutes, including hold time.
What happens if the issue is too complex to be able to be resolved in under 5.5 minutes?
There's going to be those instances, and we will certainly take the time that is necessary to ensure that we answer all of the questions and that we answer it to the customer satisfaction.
Still, customer service reps are given a quota, at least 80 calls per day, to collect as many payments as possible, but to never inform customers if their accounts are in collections, which might mean they owe a lot more.
They're paying and they're thinking that they're paying their bill, which to me is even more deceitful.
Why are people sitting on hold?
When the contractor hired to collect those bills didn't meet customer service expectations in 2015, it was penalized $177,000 by the state. The message? Shorter wait times and fewer frustrations.
Thank you for calling the TXTAG Customer Service Center. Your request could not be processed.
The outcome? New problems and uncertainty TxDOT will ever fix the system.
It's going to take another agency to go through and fix it. They're never going to do it on their own. It needs to be changed now.
That customer service rep is not alone. We spoke with a handful of others who all had similar stories, all saying something has to change. Now, we've learned that change could come with the Texas Attorney General's office. Over the years, it's received plenty of complaints about the TXTAG system, but if it receives enough, its consumer division could possibly investigate. And that's exactly what one state lawmaker says he hopes will happen.
One lawmaker tells KXAN investigator Brittany Glass enough is enough.
And that the system should have been fixed 2 years ago when the problems first surfaced.
There are still technology problems, and it seems baffling to people that you can't get it right.
There are two major toll roads running through the heart of Representative Tony Dale's Central Texas district. He says they've been a problem, and they still are.
We've got a large number of constituents that drive on the roads on a daily basis, and we hear complaints weekly without question.
Including complaints about TXTAG customer service.
You would hope that someone makes a call for a complaint, it's handled in a timely manner, and no matter who gets the call, they should be able to address it.
Until the problems are fixed, Representative Dale vows he won't drive on toll roads in Texas and proposes a complete system overhaul.
I think Texas needs a wholly different way to look at this. Myself and other members of the legislature are going to be asking the Speaker to have the Transportation Committee look at this specific problem.
And it looks like the Speaker of the House is already taking notice. We learned in just the few days since we first started telling viewers about this investigation this week, Speaker Joe Straus added toll transparency and stakeholder responsiveness to a list of issues he wants lawmakers to study before the next session. He wants recommendations on how to improve oversight of the system. Representative Dale says one idea he'll pitch: bring all of these toll operations under one entity. In the past year, all of these entities have been part of the process at some point. He says that change could mean not only a smoother process for customers, but also more transparency. But we spoke with TXTAG officials, and they say their process is already a good one, that their workers go through extensive training for 2 weeks to make the process as smooth as possible.
They go through an additional week of shadowing customer service representatives who are taking live calls. So they go through almost a month-long training session before they're allowed to even speak directly to customers.
TXTAG says it's also made changes in its customer service and call centers since problems first surfaced a few years ago. There are also extended call center hours. Still, many of you have told us you've called TXTAG and still don't have answers about your bill.
So we are taking your concerns straight to the top of TxDOT.
Check out the homepage at KXAN.com. Click on I Want Answers. Tell us about your experience with customer service and upload your bill. TxDOT tells us it will review and help get to the bottom of the bills we deliver to the agency, so let us help right now at KXAN.com.
All week you have been sending us your toll bill after having no luck getting answers or help about why they're so high so suddenly. One man found it so frustrating, he tells KXAN investigator Brittany Glass it took a state lawmaker stepping in to get his account cleared up.
Got married in Jamaica.
Flipping through photos, Matt Kovac says he's able to capture the beauty of the woman he loved so much, the wife who died unexpectedly after routine surgery in January.
When I see us on the beach like that, it's just feels like, we hit the top, where it's smooth sailings from there.
Kovac says dealing with Jessie's death and planning her funeral were overwhelming enough.
That's when, the toll bills and everything just kind of froze.
But what came in the mail 4 months later made matters worse. A collections letter demanding he pay nearly $30,000 for his late wife's TXTAG pay-by-mail account.
How is that even fair when you say, here's how much you have in tolls, and then there's admin fees for $27,500?
Thank you for calling TXTAG customer service.
Kovac contacted TXTAG customer service, who said they couldn't help. Then he tried the collections agency.
We'll reduce the bill by 70%, and you only owe $9,100. And at that point I was like, so you're telling me I still have to pay a bunch of imaginary fees when I'm willing to pay my exact toll amount that I owe for those tolls that were done?
Not satisfied, Kovac refused to pay the fees because he says he didn't even know his wife's account had gone to collections. he was never notified.
When it came to like the bills and everything, you know, you trust your wife. I had assumed she was handling the bills.
Fed up, he went to his state rep, who was the only one he says would help him resolve the problem.
The hoops you have to jump through to get someone to work with you. I wasn't about to roll over and say, oh yeah, you know, I'm scared, I'm gonna just sit here and pay, you know, amounts that are still just absurd.
Kovacs says a review of the collections process and what the agency can charge is necessary at the Capitol.
Why don't you turn around and look at your billing process and how your billing process is affecting thousands and thousands of people in Central Texas that are very upset with how this is running.
Since our investigation first aired here last night, we've had an overwhelming response when we said, we want to take your bills straight to the top of the Texas Department of Transportation for help.
So far, more than 180 of you have sent in your bill through our special I Want Answers form on KXAN.com, and that number is still climbing.
Tonight, KXAN investigator Brittany Glass has also discovered one of the biggest reasons it's all rising to this level of frustration for you.
Robert, Shannon, here's the thing. It appears Texas has no current law saying how much a collections agency can charge overall for your TXTAG bill. Lawmakers did cap certain fees, though, in this last legislative session. Under Senate Bill 312, the new monthly TXTAG fee is set at $4 per invoice for tolls 30 days past due, with an annual cap of $48. Representative Ina Menares, who helped push this consumer protection amendment, says it holds toll authorities responsible.
At what point do you stop taking advantage of people just because you're looking at money and wanting to bring in that revenue? It's just wrong. You know, we need to make sure that we treat the public fairly.
Despite the new law, the latest meeting of the Texas Transportation Commission, which sets toll fees statewide, showed not everyone agrees with the new caps.
Driving on a toll road is a choice, and for those who choose to get on there should have to pay, and we should be entitled to recovering our cost and the fees that are associated.
Still, commissioners approved the motion and the caps take effect early next year. It's important to remember, though, it appears those caps only apply to late fees on accounts that have not yet gone to collections.
Yes, and we understand it is not clear right now if it applies to every toll road in the state or just TxDOT operated roads.
That's exactly right. The Attorney General has been asked to weigh in with an opinion, but that has not yet come down.